Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about high school, middle school, bullies, the popular kids, the unpopular kids, and just, I don't know, the struggles of that. I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like that's kind of something that's gone on forever. I feel like overall it's just one of those things that it's inevitable. It's going to always be there. No matter how hard we try to change it, no matter how much we talk about it, it's always going to be there. There's going to be the popular group. There's going to be the unpopular group. There's going to be all these different stereotypes of people and groups and all of that kind of stuff. The jocks and nerds and just all of that, right? And being someone that has already gone through all of that, I feel like I may be able to offer a little insight for any of you who may be going through that, or may have gone through that even, or may have kids who are going through that. So I will tell you a little bit about myself. When I was in middle school, high school, I did not see myself as a popular kid. In fact, I was insecure and shy and definitely would not consider me popular or in the popular group or anything of that nature. I did view a group of people as the popular group, and I don't know why. It's just so strange how we in middle school, high school, we stereotype different groups of people based on our perception of them. And it's not necessarily even true about that person or that group. So, for example, maybe I stereotype someone as being a nerd, okay? And I say, you know what? He's a nerd. I can just tell he's a nerd. Look at him. He fits the description that I have in my head of being a nerd. You know, let's go along with what we've seen in movies and television shows and different things like that. The nerd is normally this like scrawny, geeky looking person that wears glasses and all of that. And so we just assume, oh well, that person must be a nerd, and we think that nerds make good grades and that they don't have to study, right? So we say, okay, he's a nerd, he makes straight A's more than likely, and he never has to study, he always knows the right answer. But if you actually are this person that is the nerd, or if you get to know this person, maybe you find out that no, they study all the time just so they can pass their classes. Or think about this. What if they're studying all the time so that they can get good grades? Because what if they're going to get in trouble if they don't get good grades? What if they've been told, hey, if you don't get good grades, you're on restriction. You're not allowed to do certain things. So, maybe it's some type of situation like that. Maybe they hate school and they don't even want to go to school and they don't want to study, but they know that if they don't, then they won't be able to go to their friend's slumber party over the weekend. So therefore they have to study to pass this test that's coming up. You never know, right? Maybe it doesn't just come naturally to them. Maybe they're not just naturally smart and gifted, and maybe they're not really a nerd, but we call them a nerd because we've stereotyped them in that kind of way. I wear glasses. Does that make me a nerd? No, it does not. I have to study. So I have to study for my exams. I have to study for my classes. I'm a lifetime learner, so I'm still in classes. I have a master's degree, several certifications. I'm just addicted to learning. I love to learn, and that's just who I am. But I wear glasses, and does that mean that I'm a nerd and that I'm naturally smart? No, I just told you, I have to study. So I'm not a nerd. But for some reason, we stereotype these, people based on our opinion and what we think. So going back to middle and high school, there was this group that I thought, okay, those are the popular kids. And looking back on it, and this is, this can be different with everyone, but in my situation, they really weren't the popular kids. In fact, looking back on it, they did not have a lot of friends. They had friends, they were friends with each other, they had their group, which we considered the popular group, or I considered the popular group. But, sorry, I had to sneeze, but that just totally threw me off topic, because I feel like I have to sneeze again. So I considered them the popular group, but looking back on it, I'm like, really, they only were friends with each other. Really, truly, there was like a group of maybe 6 people, and they were friends with each other. In fact, a lot of people, I think, were maybe like intimidated by them or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I decided that I thought they were the popular group. And then I have heard from so many people over the years, and I'm not trying to brag about myself or anything like that at all, because like I've said several times, I always viewed myself as just being like this, like, I was shy. I was shy. I was nice. I was nice to everyone. I wasn't always nice to everyone. I'm not gonna lie. I know that there are things that like I feel bad about. Cause yeah, I made fun of people occasionally with my little friends. And I feel like probably everyone in the world has at least at one point in time made fun of someone for some reason and feels bad about it, I hope. And I do feel bad about it. But I didn't do that all the time. Sorry about that sneezing, then I had to go blow my nose. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? This is a very sensitive topic. But I tried to be nice to everyone. Okay, let's just put it that way. I was friends with anyone who would be friends with me. Okay. So for example, when I would have get-togethers, and luckily my parents would allow us to have like little get-togethers, like friends parties and things like that in middle and high school. I think it was mostly high school, honestly. But I would have, I'm not exaggerating, about 50 plus people at my house. And I would just kind of like mingle around through the different groups. There would be the gothic group, all the kids that wear black and are like more like grungy. And then there would be like the preppy group and the sports jock group and like all these different groups of people. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I would just kind of like mingle around and say hi to them and talk to them and be nice to them. And I was pretty good at like blending. I feel like I did pretty well at blending. And what I mean by that is when I would go to my gothic group, I would like kind of blend with them, right? Like, I wasn't gothic. I didn't wear black every single day and I'd like paint my face and all that kind of stuff. But I liked alternative music. I liked soft rock, alternative music, loved Linkin Park and all of that. And not saying that they're goth or anything, but just like, you stereotype gothic people with like alternative hard rock and things like that. Don't know why, but we do. But I'm not, and I love that music, okay? So, anyways, and then I would go over and I would go and hang out with like the sports people and kind of blend in with the sports people. And then I would hang out with the preppies and, back then Aeropostale was very popular and stuff like that. Like, I loved Aeropostale. But and Jinko. So I used to wear a lot of Jinko, if you remember that. So Jinko, I was all over the place, guys. I liked everything almost, and I was just, nice to everyone. I never considered myself to be popular or anything like that. They considered me to be popular. They said, oh, I don't think you realize how popular you were. And I'm like, they're like, no. They're like, girl, no. Like, you were friends with everybody. you were probably one of the most popular people in the school. And I'm like, no. But thinking about it and hearing from several different people all this stuff, like, you know what? Maybe our view of popularity is not necessarily what it is, right? And it's really not. Think about it. You can be known by a lot of people and that makes you popular. A lot of people know who you are, so you're popular, okay? And a lot of people knew who those popular people were in my school, right? The people that I said were popular, like 5 or 6 people. But then there's also another type of popular where it's, you're not only known, they don't only know your name, but they accept you and you accept them. You don't have to be best friends. You don't even have to consider yourselves friends. But if you're nice to each other and you're at least acquaintances, you're cordial, I feel like that's a totally different type of popularity. And why I'm saying this is I'm saying this because I have had a couple of people say, I just wish, like there's that song, I just want to be popular and all that. And I'm like, why? But then I've had like a couple of people like mention, not asking me, but just like mention, like, I wish I was popular. I wish I was popular in school. I don't have any friends, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, but you don't have to be popular. You just have to be nice. You just have to be nice. Okay? Just be nice. That's what I did. I never viewed myself as being popular. I would go places and people would know who I was. I would walk down the hallway in my school and, you know, random people that I didn't even know would be like, hey, and call me by my name. And I was just like, hey. I mean, I would say hey back, but I'm like, I don't know who you are. And that just kind of stuck with me. Just be nice. And even to the people that are not nice to you, okay? Sometimes people are mean because they're having a bad day. Sometimes, we know this, oh my gosh, y'all, boys, that's a whole nother topic to talk about, boys in middle and high school. Sometimes people are mean to you because they like you. Don't understand that logic at all, but sometimes people are mean because they're jealous of you. Sometimes people are mean because they're hungry. Y'all, I get so hangry, I am not even going to lie. Like, if I am hungry and I need food, you do not want to push any of my buttons because I am like, you don't want to know. I get very hangry. So, I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios. And the best thing that you can do is just try to be nice. I know it's hard sometimes, especially when someone is really pushing your buttons, but just try to be nice. And another thing that I live by is, like, people will see you. You know, there's always going to be gossip and there's going to be talk and there's going to be someone who is trying to, like, badmouth you because it makes them feel better or something. I don't know. I really don't understand that either. I'm not perfect. Like I said, I have in the past, you know, I was not always I was nice to everyone in school, but I know that there were some times when I wasn't. And, you know, it's part of growing up. And, you know, I'm not saying it's okay, because it's not. But you just, you know, with time, maturity, getting older, who knows, maybe having those experiences yourself, you know, you come to realize that, hopefully you realize that it's not good to be that kind of person. It's not good to be mean to people and to talk bad about people. If you have nothing nice to say, close your mouth. Like, don't open it. Do you want people saying negative stuff about you? Do you want people bad-mouthing you to your face or behind your back? Then don't do it. You know how it feels. I'm sure that it's happened to you before. Don't be the person throwing it. Don't. Just, I mean, there are some things that just need to be left unsaid. I mean, if it's constructive criticism, I'm all for that. Okay, like I'm very big on constructive criticism. If it's something where you're like, well, they're never gonna know unless someone tells them, but tell them in a nice way. Have you ever had someone tell you something that you didn't want to hear and they said it in a negative way? Okay, so like maybe like your hair. You colored your hair and you colored it, I don't know. Let's say me. Let's say that because I'm a natural brunette. Let's say I decided to dye my hair brown and I'm super duper excited because I've been blonde for a while. So let's say I went back to brown. And I'm super excited about my brown hair, and someone comes up to me and they say, why did you dye your hair brown? That is so not your color. Or even worse, what if they came to me and said, ew, what'd you do to your hair? How's that gonna make me feel? That's gonna make me feel sad and like, great. Let's say I dyed my hair brown, I went back to brunette, and I don't like it. But the damage is done. Right now I have to wait a while before I can lighten it up again. And so I don't like it. And someone comes to me and says, oh, what the heck did you do to your hair, girl? Right? I mean, now I feel even worse. Okay? Was that necessary? No. Is it your hair? No. Do you have to live with it? No. Are people going to be looking at you differently because of it? No, it has nothing to do with you. So why are you making those comments about me and my hair? Right? It's not necessary. It's not needed. But let's say you come to me and you're like, oh my gosh, your hair, you darkened it. I really think that looks good on you, but I really, really liked the blonde before. You just told me you liked my hair better when it was blonde, right? That's gonna stick with me. You didn't tell me that it looks terrible, but you told me that you liked it better blonde. You still told me what you wanted to tell me. You told me in a nicer way. That's not gonna hurt as bad. And maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna think about that and I'm gonna decide later on to lighten it. But either way, it doesn't matter because it's not your hair. You're not affected by it. So, I don't know, this video is getting longer than I wanted it to, but point being, just, try to watch what you say. Try to be nice to everyone if you can. If you can't, try not to say anything at all. I know we've said that a billion times. I've got tons of stories that I can tell you about like real life situations and, how I handled them well or not. And if I, how I learned from them, there's just, I've got a wealth of experience that I'm going to share with you guys. I have been, in a lot of different types of situations and I'm still here. You will survive. You will survive. I've got quite a few stories to tell, not necessarily my stories even, but some are other people's stories as well. I will not name any names. And I just hope that some of this you may take with you and maybe it will help you get through some spot in your life that you may be experiencing now, you have experienced, or you may experience in the future. Anyways, thanks for joining, guys, and I will see you next time.